An example that we give many times, we say in Uvolat Tzion, that we know that two of the most special spiritual ingredients and qualities that a Jew needs to have are Yira and Ahava. Yiras Hashem, Yira for Talmidei Chachamim, Yira for parents, Yira for the Torah Kedusha, Yira for a Mokim Kodesh, and Ahavas Hashem, and Ahavas Torah, Ahavas Yisrael, all of these things. How does a person get it? We say every morning, Hu Yiftach Libeinu B'Seirosei, that we ask Hashem to open our hearts to His Torah, V'Yosem B'Libeinu, and Hashem should place into my heart, I'm asking Hashem to take with His hands, to take this flour and water and sugar, to take this Yira and Ahava, and put it inside my heart, to give me these qualities, these attributes, and to give me the desire to want to do what Hashem wants me to do. These are items, baruchnius, pillars, important pillars, baruchnius, that a Jew needs to succeed as a Jew, and we see clearly that it's part of our tefillah. This is part of what the Chachamim have instituted, that a person can and should ask Hashem for. And now, Rabbi Nasan tells us that regarding tefillah, there are two different ways that a person davens. One is before Gzar Din, when there is no Gzar Din, when there is no Midas Hadin that's activated by Hashem, there is no judgment, there is no harshness, there is no decree against the person or against Klal Yisrael that's been issued, when there is a Gzar Din. And Rabbi Nasan explains in the chapter that when there is a Gzar Din, a person has to hide the tefillah. Just like in general, we know that when there's a judgment out against a person, the person has to hide. And hide means either to go into hiding, or hide means to dress himself differently, to make himself appear differently than what he really is. So too, Rabbi Nasan explains and clarifies and shows how when there is a Gzar Din, when there is a Midas Hadin, a person can't daven the regular, obvious way, because there are malachim. The Gemara speaks about this. This is mentioned in many places, that in general there are malachim, that when a person's tefillah is on its way up to heaven, usually it has to pass through all kinds of angels that have the ability to help it get to where it's supposed to, or to block it in certain cases, or to tear it to pieces in certain cases. The Gemara speaks about this. So therefore, Rabbi Nasan says that when it's after a Gzar Din, then a person has to hide his tefillah in a maimar. That's the word that he uses. And one of the Meforshim, one of the commentaries tells us that an example, a clear example that we have of this in Klal Yisrael is the case of Rosh Hashanah. If a person will take a look at the Shmon Esrei that we daven on Rosh Hashanah, the Shmon Esrei of Musaf, which is the longest Shmon Esrei of the year, and one of the most powerful long tefillos of the entire year, some of the paragraphs in there seem to be just totally misplaced, because they don't appear to be a tefillah whatsoever. We're quoting psukim from Chumash about Noach. We're telling a story about Noach and the Mabul and the. I thought tefillah is where I ask Hashem for things. Where's the request? And the Cherina Rav, Rebbe Nachman explains that this is one example of this concept of being malbish a tefillah in a maimar, in a sipur. This is one of the ways that tzaddikim know this the best. They're the ones who know what's taking place in heaven. They know whether it's koydem gzar din or achar gzar din, or they know whether it's a day in the calendar year, whether it's Tisha B'Av, whether it's Rosh Hashanah, certain days that the Torah declares as Yomim Noiroim, days of awe, days of Midas Hadin, and they know how to structure a tefillah at that time, how to hide it, conceal it, where to a layman, he doesn't even see where the tefillah, it looks to him like we're just reading psukim of Chumash. And they have hidden tefillah in there. They've hidden messages, requests for forgive all kinds of things within the way that maimar is structured. Now Rabbi Nasan says, how can a person know, and here person meaning any person, whether it be great tzaddikim or an ordinary Jew, how can a person know whether it's koydem gzar din or lachar gzar din, to know how to structure his tefillah. How does a person know before Gzar Din, after Gzar Din? Rabbi Nasan says, through the mitzvahs that a person performs. When a person is doing mitzvahs, v'dafka kishoisin hamitzvahs b'simcha gedola kol kach at she'ein roitze b'shum schar olam haba elo hu roitze sheyazmeno HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitzvah cheres b'schar mitzvah zois. The way that a person has this incredible vision to be able to see whether it's before Gzar Din or after Gzar Din is, if a person does mitzvahs with simcha, with joy, and not a simcha that's based on a future reward, not a simcha that's based on faith that I believe doing this right now isn't fun, it isn't exciting, I don't love what I'm doing. I'm happy about what I'm doing, I'm happy with the knowledge that this is an investment for the future, that there's going to come a time when I'm going to be happy. I'm going to have what to celebrate and be joyous and everything. That's one level. There's another level that Rabbi Nasan mentions here, where the Mishnah says in Pirkei Avos, a concept of schar mitzvah, where if you would ask a person, what reward would you like for this mitzvah? The person wouldn't say, as a child would say, ice cream, a shiny car. An older child would say $1 million, $10 million, but rather the person would say, the only reward I could possibly think of that I would want is more of this. Give me more of this. I'm enjoying the mitzvah so much that anything else compared to this is ridiculous. It's not in the same league of something that I appreciate and enjoy as much as I enjoy the mitzvah. The Gemara says, this is not Chassidus, the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says that this is a level for a Jew to aspire, that whereas the majority of people in this world, if you ask them what their goals are, what their objectives are, what they would like most, there are people who would say honor, respect, kavod. Other people would define it as money. And a third category of people would say olam haba. Here, Rabbi Nasan is talking about a person who is not interested in kavod, not interested in money, not interested in olam haba. If you ask the person, what do you want? The person says, I want more mitzvahs. This to me is the ultimate success and the ultimate pleasure.